Alright, so I played a little bit into Welcome Tour and I'm a little bit spoiled from like other content creators and such, so I know what to expect. There's this one minigame in Welcome Tour I'm not really friend of from how it's handled, and that is Find the Strongest Rumble. There's a lot of issues with this minigame, ranging from the accuracy being asked for the third medal being completely ridiculous, and like the vibrations being so strong that the vibrations of the controller make the controller move and such. You cannot even get like pixel perfect. So I've been spending some time thinking about how to approach this, and the solution that I came up with is inspired by triangulation or circle intersection. um, I will demonstrate this here using a capture card and a photo editing software, which makes things obviously a lot easier. So if you have that option, then use that option. If you do not have a capture card available or some type of way of streaming your Nintendo Switch 2 gameplay on the PC for you to take accurate screenshots and use an image modification program, you can of course use like a piece of paper and a ruler and draw a circle and stuff like that. But I will demonstrate the idea now. So the idea is I'm gonna demonstrate this on the second version now, because the first version is really easy. That's not the issue. I'm gonna demonstrate this on the second version now. It also works on the third version, but in the third version there's some extra issues. So the idea is relatively simple. You have to find the strongest point. You probably figured out that much. And you need to be able to roughly find it. So that's the thing. You need to be able to roughly find its location as a mandatory part of being able to solve this. And the way you can do that is by paying attention to the vibrations, because when you get closer you will notice that the vibration gets stronger, but they basically are stuttering. Like when I do, for example, this spot here, and then hold the Joy-Con onto my mic. You guys can hear that there is a vibration, but it's kind of stuttering, and only if you get really close. It stays strong. It's strong but also permanent. So like the progressing path, it's the vibration is there and it's rather weak but consistent. And then it gets strong and stuttering, and then it gets strong and consistent. Kinda like, so that's the issue I talked about with like when you pick up it already, it becomes more consistent. So you need that to roughly be able to pin this down. I'm gonna restart now because the game has a hidden timer. And the reason why you need that for may be depending on how your circle intersection goes. But the idea is the following. So when you go make one of those circles and you just barely feel the vibration and then press, you will be around 400 away, because that's where the vibration starts. I got exactly 400 here. If you're playing on full HD, I'm not sure how that exactly looks like for other resolution, but if you play on full HD, that also happens to be a distance of exactly 400 pixels. This will obviously change as you up and down scale. I happen to play in full HD, so the accuracy in which I have to hit the spot is actually pixel perfect for me. But you can technically do the same for 720 or 4K, just full HD makes the math the easiest, because we know, okay, distance of 400, that's a distance of 400 pixels. And we need that for the circle. So now comes the actual one. I start by finding a spot again where I can just barely feel the vibration. What I'm gonna do here is I take a screenshot. And what I'm gonna do with the screenshot is I'm gonna open an image manipulation software like GIMP and start drawing a circle. So what this circle needs to do is both X and Y size needs to be the same, and the diameter needs to be 800 pixels in my case, because the distance, like the radius of the vibration zone, is 400, which means the diameter is 800. So now we can use that to move the circle to the center of the where we went. Then we tell GIMP to draw the border or Photoshop or whatever software to draw the border of our selection, and then we tell to select the border, and then we draw it. And that has the effect that we have now drawn a circle from which we know somewhere here the strongest point has to be. And if we were to go across the line, we have basically just reduced the difficulty of find the strongest rumble 2 to find the strongest rumble 1, where we had to find a point along the line. The only issue is following this line, because it's a curve, is a little bit more difficult than following like a straight line. But there's a solution to this, and it's called cycle intersection. So I'm gonna go back to my capture card. And what I'm gonna do next now is I'm gonna repeat this process with a different point. This seems good. So I'm gonna take this point, I'm gonna return to GIMP. I'm gonna insert the image again, and we're gonna repeat this entire process almost down to exactly the same steps with one small difference. So I'm gonna make the circle is 800, I'm gonna zoom in, gonna ensure the center is here. And what I'm now gonna do is I'm gonna make the selection again. I wanna get the border, but instead of drawing the border on the second image, I hide the second image, go to the first image, and then draw the circle on top of the first image. And the consequence of that is we have two different locations now from which we know that the distance of the highest vibration is 400, and this happened to intersect. So now we know, okay, the point of strongest vibration either has to be here or there. Depending on how you choose your two circles, there's only one intersection. If you have two intersections, that's also not a problem, because now we can just use our rough estimate, like being able to roughly guess where, roughly feel where the strongest point is, to get the spot right. So I'm now using that image on my second screen or somewhere else, using that scala that you see at the top and at the left to basically navigate roughly to where the strongest vibration should be. So the cut point is like roughly at 4 or 5, so somewhere here. And then I can use the circle to basically try to navigate exactly where the circles cross. And if I didn't mess up, that's really fucking close. Obviously, you will not get every time a perfect result. It depends on how accurate you worked here. But we can see, okay, that's where the dot was, and that's where circle interception told us where the dot is going to be. Obviously, things makes it a lot easier if you can take screenshots, which is what the capture card is for, but technically you can do the same process with like on your TV or your monitor using a ruler and a piece of paper. You draw a paper circle, hold the circle on your TV and determine it that way. Sticky notes may also help. So far to finding the strongest rumble 2, I already know what you're thinking. Okay, this is a really good way to find the strongest rumble 2. But what about find the strongest rumble 3? Because there's decoys. Do these decoys not mess with this solution? And the answer is, it's RNG. Sometimes the decoys are placed in a way that they actually make it impossible for you to use this circle interception method. Sometimes they are placed the proper way. And I can easily demonstrate this by just giving up. Because now you see the circles are drawn in from the gravity zones, and we see like, okay, is my mouse cursor picked up? But you guys maybe see that where, yeah, now it's picked up. So here is no rumble, and here is also no rumble. So if you were to be finding those zones, and there is a hidden timer, but the hidden timer is kind of generous, you can also use that method on this find the strongest rumble 3. You see, it helped me to get to the distance of 2. It's not a setup that always gets you the perfect pixel. That's still ridiculous, but it makes it a lot easier. Basically, 2 medals are free with this setup. 2 medals are absolutely free with this setup. And the third medal, it improves your chances by a lot. It will still take a few attempts, but eventually you will be able to get the third medal and move on from this minigame. I hope that this helps. And funny enough, it's one of those rare applications where math from the school actually serves us any purpose. Yeah, have fun, guys, and I hope that you all have amazing time with the Switch 2, and that we get our home view very soon. So I'm not sure how much more Switch 2 videos will come at this channel. This channel is more of like an old speedrun archive, and I'm normally a PC player, but you never know. Maybe I will come up with something, or you guys have questions about how to solve something, and then I will figure something out.